Welcome to Out of the Blue, number Out of the Blue, number 46, Galactic Awareness. I have my Bunfingus College notebook, page 1, Galactic Awareness. Now, Bunfingus College is interplanetary, interdimensional, and interdisciplinary. That means it exists on multiple planets, it exists in multiple dimensions, and we study multiple subjects, interdisciplinary. And one of the subjects we study is Astronomy. And here we have Peterson's Guide to the Stars. And I was going to talk about the Virgo Cluster, but the picture is kind of hard to see, so if you're watching this on YouTube, look up the Virgo Cluster, because if you can wrap your head around the Virgo Cluster, it will broaden your entire consciousness, because the Virgo Cluster is a very big idea. But we're not going to talk about the Virgo Cluster today. We're going to talk about galactic awareness, which means we live in a galaxy, and when you figure out that you live in a galaxy and that we are one of many galaxies, the next question is, well, who's our neighbor? This is Appendix 4 in the Peterson's Guide to the Stars, page 456. The nearest stars. And number 1 is the Sun, number 2 is Proxima Centauri, 3 Barnard's Star. Let's skip to number 7, Sirius A and Sirius B, 8.58 light years from Earth. So we have lots of neighbors, and Sirius A and Sirius B are primary among them. So my shoes are diesels. And I'm riding a Giant Quasar. I'm a calligrapher and a folk singer, living in a magic shop. And this yard behind the magic shop is a doorway to the astral realm. It is December 27th, Sunday in Chicago, and it's not even very cold. And usually by this time, which is to say the first week of winter in Chicago, you are thoroughly sick of winter. Usually it's been so cold that you just can't stand it any longer, even on the very first day of winter. But here it is, the first week of winter, and it's not even that bad. Now, in the first segment I mentioned the Virgo Cluster, Peterson's Guide to Planets and Stars. So that would fit under the category of science. And then I mentioned the astral realm, which does not fit under the category of science. So I might as well bring up right now the simple fact of life that we, as humans, have two sides to our brain. We have the analytical, rational side, and the emotional, irrational side. So, when we talk science and math, we're being rational. When we talk astral realm and Bunfingus College, we are being irrational. This is like yin and yang. You cannot cannot really escape this while being human. Even Spock, who was only half human and half Vulcan, had to come to terms with his human side. And if the human side is like us, and we are half rational and half irrational, that means Spock was half Vulcan, half human, which means he was only 1/4 irrational. So if Spock had to deal with it, then so do we. So maybe I've mentioned a few too many topics for one episode, but I am here, I am in the library upstairs, in the back of the magic shop. There's my telescope, and the yard I just claimed to be the portal to the astral realm is right there. So that's the yard behind the magic shop, and if you go straight up from the yard, you enter the astral realm, and that's what I did, and that's where I met T. Jacques, and that's where I discovered Bunfingus College. So to get into Bunfingus College, it's a reading program, and the first book is this one, A Totem for T. Jacques, Keo Felker Lazarus, and it's ironic that her name is Lazarus because she is going to rise from the dead. Now, to get back to the original subject of astronomy, amateur astronomy, this is a telescope and it's a little big, and if you want to get into amateur astronomy, all you really need is a good pair of binoculars, like maybe magnification of 8. You don't want too big of a magnification. 8 is good enough to get started. Sometimes the more expensive ones, they sell you like this 10, 20, 30 magnification, and that's unnecessary. So get a pair of binoculars with an 8 magnification, and get that Peterson's Guide to the Stars book, and go out on a clear night, and you're off and running. So today is a little disjointed, this episode, because we talked about astronomy, the Virgo Cluster, we talked about Bunfingus College, we mentioned Spock, we talked about rationality and irrationality, but essentially, and we talked about calligraphy, and we talked about my diesel shoes and my Giant Quasar bicycle. So it might all seem disjointed, but basically there's a finite number of subjects I'm talking about. There's only a few subjects. It all boils down into one delicious stew. And so I'm going to end this one for now and get working on number 47. But these subjects, the astral and the rational and the irrational, are really going to continue throughout this whole series.